All right, so for the defenders, we have a small Mechanicus detachment led by a tech priest, and 4 servitors, 2 with plasma cannons, as well as a 10-man squad of Skitarii Vanguard with 1 arc rifle. The second detachment is another patrol of Astra Militarum led by a captain with a veteran command squad including banner and 3 plasma guns, and 3 10-man infantry squads, each one containing 1 plasma gun, and 1 special weapons squad consisting of 3 flamethrowers to round out the patrol detachment. And here we're going to go over the 25 power level crusade force of Death Guard that is going to attempt to take Orbital Defense Battery Platform 27.
Our Lord of Contagion here today is Usharabi the Winnower, a hulking physique warlord with the Ferryman Scythe of the 6th Company and an Orb of Desiccation. Here we have his loyal or not so loyal bodyguard of Death Shroud Terminators, the Gallowsmen, who are led by a champion with dual Plague Spirit gauntlets, Chains of Contagion, and has spent the requisition point to be given the Reaper of Glorious Entropy. His sidekicks have Plague Spirit gauntlets and Mad Reapers. And here we have the Oarsmen, a unit of Plague Marines led by a champion with a plasma gun, with 2 specialists with plasma guns, and 7 standard bolter equipped Plague Marines, all of which are armed with Plague Knives as well.
And the mission we're going to be playing today is going to be Combat Patrol Boarding Action from the Crusade Amidst the Ashes mission pack. And here we have Orbital Defense Station 27. It's an asteroid that has been hollowed out and converted into a defense station. The battlefield will contain 2 breach points where the Death Guard will be entering. It contains 2 objectives, one here, the other here, that are progressive objectives. Of course, the Death Guard need to get into the Defender's deployment zone in the back. However, as an added bonus, there are 3 body piles from the initial invasion and contagion that hit the station. They're worth 1 victory point if the defender spends an action burning them, in which case they cannot be used anymore. They're also worth 1 victory point for the Death Guard if they grab control of them and spend an action to resurrect plague zombies out of the dead pile that then will operate under the Death Guard's control. And this will be our battlefield for today. And here we have the Imperials deployed to move on up and grab the objective, while the Mechanicus forces are positioned for a flanking maneuver. Meanwhile, over here, we have the Death Guard coming in off of their boarding torpedo. And on the other side, the Terminator's coming in. And we're ready to start turn 1. So Nurgle, Death Guard, turn 1, sees them advance with their troops up to try to get within range of the first objective. They also advanced, again, from their boarding torpedo up towards the body pile and the second objective. And once they arrive there, what are they doing now, Mr. Holty?
Well, we are using our agenda, so the Infection Harvest Plague, to get a poison tally for the Death Shroud Terminators. This will keep tallying up as whenever they're in contagion range of the objectives, and will give them virulence points after the battle.
Okay, and that is Death Guard turn 1. The Imperium saw the Aggressor Doctrine used as the Skitarii move up to try to get into position to get rid of that pile of bodies as well as repel the invading Death Guard. A unit of guardsmen advanced under orders of Forward for the Emperor to get into position to open up on the Death Guard, with a special weapons squad of flamethrowers moving up behind him. The command squad lined up and gave Forward for the Emperor orders for the last squad of guardsmen, who are now going to try to stand toe-to-toe with a Terminator squad right in front of them. And let's see what happens with Shroud. So, the first squad opens up with 2 plasma guns, 2 hits, and then rapid-firing las guns. We have a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 hits. The las guns, you are toughness
5
and strength 3, so needing 5s. So the las guns manage a whopping 5 wounds with no AP. And the 2 plasma guns both fail to wound. So, of the 5 hits on the Terminators,
none of them go through the armor.
The command squad standing back behind them is not within rapid fire range. However, they will each take a single shot. These are veterans, so 3 plasma gun shots at the Terminators. All hit because they're veterans. Strength 7, so wounding on 3s. We have 3 wounds on the veterans, or from the veterans onto the Terminators. So let's go ahead and make your saves.
Alright, plasma gun was -2.
They were not overcharged, that is correct. So -2 or -3?
So, let's take a look at the plasma gun. And
Well,
crazy
2 of them are fails for sure, because you rolled a 3, and a 4. Plasma gun.
-3 straight up. So that is 3 wounds, which would manage to take down 1.
However, do you not have a feel no pain or something similar?
Unfortunately, Disgusting Resilient was changed in the new edition to be a reduction to damage, not a 6-up saving throw.
Okay, so one of the Terminators is gunned down by the PDF. Over here, the advancing PDF squad emerges out of a corridor and then proceeds to rapid fire into the Death Guard. We have 2 plasma gun shots as well as numerous las gun shots. And here we go. The plasma gunner managed to miss with both shots. Luckily, he hadn't overcharged, or he probably would have killed himself. And we have a grand total of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 hits with the las guns. And rolling to wound, we have a grand total of 2 wounds on the Death Guard Marines. So, Mr. Holte, if you would be so good as to attempt a saving throw for those 2 Marines.
So we have 2 3+ saving throws. We take a single wound on a Plague Marine.
1 Plague Marine takes a wound. And in the back, 2 of the servitors are going to attempt to open fire down the corridor at the advancing Death Guard with their plasma cannons. They are going to be at -1 to hit because of the intervening cover. However, they are ballistic skill 4 thanks to the assistance of the engineer. But again, with cover, they'll be hitting on 5s. And let's see what happens there. So, these are blast weapons, so they'll be getting D3, but blast, and there's 10 in that squad, correct?
There's 10 in that squad.
So that'll be 6 plasma cannon shots. Hitting on 5s. We have 4 hits. And they are not overcharged because it does no good. So, rolling to wound. We have 1. Count them. 1 wound from plasma.
Alright, that'll be a 6-up save.
Go ahead and make your save.
And it's made.
And it's made. So none of the Death Guard go down to that. And no one else really has shots. So we're going to go into the Death Guard turn 2. And we'll come back after they finish their movement. So the Death Guard Terminators moved over. They are contesting that first objective. And the other squad moved up to grab that objective, and unfortunately for me, they've got good fire control of that corridor, and that squad looks like it might be in a little bit of trouble. However, he also teleported in his lord, whose name
Usharabi the Winnower.
Usharabi the Winnower just teleported in. He is 9 inches away from the Skitari. And we're about to begin the psychic phase.
No psychic phase.
No psychic phase, so we are going to go to the shooting phase. And let's see what happens next. So first up, the Nurgle Death Guard squad is within 12 inches for rapid fire on the special weapons squad. He has spent a command point to throw in virulent rounds.
All bolt weapons in that unit are counted as plague weapons.
So he is now about to open fire with a whole lot of shots. And let's see what happens.
So we have 14 shots with the bolters.
Here come 14 bolter shots.
Hitting on 3s. So that is 10 hits.
Okay, 10 hits on the six-man special weapons squad.
Strength 4 to toughness 3, I believe.
Yep.
So 3s, re-rolling 1s because they are plague weapons.
Okay.
And we have 3 that are re-rolled.
4. You got another one right on the corner.
Oh, he is correct.
Oh.
Doesn't matter on that one.
Nope.
So that is a grand total of 7 saves that will need to be made if he has any on his special weapons team there.
They do have their t-shirt saves. And let's get them rolled. There was 7 of them, you said?
7. Alright.
Let's see what happens when I roll the dice. I save 2, however, 5 fail. So 5 of the special weapons squad are killed. And the remainder of the squad is going to open up on them with plasma guns, you said?
Yep. There are 3 plasma guns in that unit, 2 on specialists, 1 on the champion. They will not be overcharging for this.
The lone PDF specialist is turning his back in an effort to try to run away from the fire that is coming at him.
We have 4 hits upon them and 3 wounds.
3 wounds with their high AP just burns the last poor PDF trooper to his basically his fuel tanks rupture and explodes, and he's a human fireball. So the 2 Death Shroud Terminators are going to fire their Plague Spurt gauntlet, not quite flamers, more like liquid plague coming out of them into the squad in front of them. That's what, 2d6 shots?
3d6 since the champion has 2.
Okay. So 3d6 shots for a grand total of
14.
Wow, 14. Wow.
Now these are auto hit.
Yep.
They're only strength 3, but because you are within contagion range, your toughness is lowered by 1.
So I am now toughness 2, so you'll be wounding on 3s.
Fortunately, there is no AP for you to have to deal with, but it is rerolling on 1s as a plague weapon.
Okay, so
So 14 wound, and on 2s, re-rolling the 1s.
wounding on
Or
3s.
3s, correct.
3s. Re-rolling 1s to wound. 2s, I'm safe.
Bolters, you won't be. So
It looks like we have 2, 3, 4,
a total of
10
armor
So-
saves will need to be made.
All right, so here are our 10 armor saves. We made 1. So one guy is all that is left, and we are going to leave... We're going to leave the lone plasma gunner right here to face you. Let's see what happens. As they basically just wash them away in a tide of filth, leaving a single plasma gunner to deal with them. So now we start the charge phase. He's declared a charge versus the lone surviving plasma gunner. He has also declared a charge versus this squad. And he's declared a long bomb charge with his lord.
Sharabi the winnower?
Sharabi the winnower against the Skitari. I am going to actually spend a command point to Overwatch, and I think I am going to Overwatch... you know what? We're going to Overwatch with the guard squad simply because the Skitari are... It's a long bomb, 9-inch charge for him there, so there's a chance he won't even reach them, whereas he's pretty much guaranteed to reach this infantry squad, so we're going to try to Overwatch with them. So, I am going to attempt an Overwatch. First up, the plasma guns are going to open up, needing 6s, 1 hit, and wounds.
Alright, that will be a 6-up save. I'm assuming you did not overcharge.
I did not overcharge.
He takes a single wound, which is enough to drop the injured one.
Yep, there's 1 injured already, so one of them is gone. The rest of the squad then opens fire. And we managed to rack in a whopping 4 hits. Not bad. Needing 5s to wound. We have a single wound. That is failed.
Yeah. So second Plague Marine gets injured in that unit.
And do they make their charge, Mr.
That one they do.
A 5-inch charge. So let's move them in. If you would be so kind. 5-inch charge. They are in. They are all going to be able to strike. All right, let's roll up the other... Or better yet, let's just do this fight first. I'm not going to interrupt. Or no, we need to do all the charges. So let's check the other charges next. And the Death Shroud.
A measly charge of 3 does still manage to get them in.
Okay, move them on in against the lone plasma gunner.
Yep.
There you go. And let's go to the winnower. Let's see if the winnower makes his charge. He needs a 9.
Sharabi gets a 6, though we will spend a command point to re-roll the charge roll.
All right, spending a command point to re-roll.
Bringing us down to a total of 3. And that gets us just short again.
He's short, so he will not be making it in this turn. And our first combat is going to be the Death Shroud Terminators against the lone plasma gunner. And
we'll start off, of course, with the Death Shroud champion.
Champion's going to swing first.
Yeah, he has a total of 5 attacks. but that is also with the relic he is wielding due to being a specialist troop. That would be the Reaper of Glorious Entropy.
So he's carrying the Reaper of Glorious Entropy as a relic. You paid requisition points to give him that in your crusade list.
Correct.
So he is actually is worth a crusade point for everything. So go ahead, take a swing. Let's see what happens.
All right.
Let's see if that has paid off for you, or whether or not the lone guardsman or PDF trooper is going to be able to withstand the assault.
Well, we have 5 attacks that are hitting on 2s, and the roll of a 6 will inflict a mortal wound.
All right. Well, I see a 6, so that's a mortal wound with a quick flick of the wrist. The scythe comes out, and the PDF trooper is beheaded. With him dead, do you have to consolidate 3 inches towards the nearest enemy, or?
Correct.
All right. Make your consolidation move, which is taking you away from... You're still within range of the objective, but it did take you away from that dead pile, so you're not going to be resurrecting zombies out of there, for which I am very grateful. All right, so over here, we're not going to interrupt. So the Death Guard are proceeding to pull out plague knives and try to gut the PDF troopers who are valiantly holding that objective and corridor. Let's see what happens.
Well, first off, we spend the command point to make sure that it's known that these plague marines are trench fighters, giving them an extra attack with their plague knives.
All right, so they've got an extra attack due to trench fighters.
So we are sitting with still 8 remaining normal plague marines, a grand total of 24 attacks.
Okay, 24 incoming attacks hitting on 3s.
Correct.
All right.
So, 14 of those hit.
Okay. And they'll be wounding on what, 3s again?
Strength 4 to toughness 2 due to the factor in contagion range.
Oh, so I'm actually down to toughness 2 because of your contagious thing and your strength 4. So that would be 2s to wound. And
Plague knives are plague weapons. Reroll wounds of 1.
rerolling wounds of 1. It is tough being a PDF trooper here in the Charadon sector.
We have 3 rerolls on that. So a total of 14 saves that will need to be made there. They do not have any AP.
14 regular saves, so we got 4, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 saves. We made 4. However, 10 is enough to see the entire squad gutted. They then consolidate, heading down the one corridor, still within range of the objective. So you currently control both objectives.
As well as adding 2 poisoning tallies to my agenda.
You have 2 poisoning tallies. You have 2 of the objectives, so you currently are at 10 points. So the current score is 10-0. And then it now comes down to the PDF and the Mechanicum forces as they attempt to throw you off. And we'll come back right after they finish their movement. So, the Guardsman unit has moved on up to confront the Terminators. Meanwhile, over here, the Skitarii have moved back and come around the corner to try to stop the Death Guard unit from swarming them. They felt they were far enough away where they could probably take them out and then deal with the lone Death Lord that is way back there at their leisure later. As they moved around here, they went to a different Doctrina Imperative. They are currently using the Protector Imperative. So they are going to actually have improved their ballistic skill by 1, but they're going to have a decreased weapon skill. And we're going to start off with orders and then go with shooting. So, the captain orders the squad down below. First rank fire, second rank fire. First of all, they're firing the plasma gun. Point blank. 2 hits. 2 wounds. They're not overcharged, however. And...
Alright.
So 2 wounds with the plasma weaponry into the 2 Terminators.
Death Shroud Terminators will use their 4+ invuln saves.
Okay. 1 wound. And then the las guns, since they're doing first rank fire, second rank fire, will be firing twice. Or doubling their shots. And they needed it, because... 6 hits, that's it. Wow. Out of the first batch. And the second roll. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 hits. And wounding on 5s. Let's see if... Well, we've got 3 more wounds, 3 more armor saves for them.
This will be a straight 2-up armor save. And all 3 are made.
Alright, and that's it for that one. The command squad is going to open up on the same Terminators, but they're going to be given an order first. They're going to be given the bring it down order. So the veterans who are going to rapid fire their plasma guns will be re-rolling to wound, because we need to make sure those Terminators are stopped. Now, they didn't overcharge, so we have 4 hits. Wounding on 3s. Only wound once, however, thanks to that order, they will be re-rolling, so they have 3 plasma wounds.
And we'll be rolling 3 4-up invuln saves.
3 4-up invuln saves.
We fail 1, so that Terminator is down to 1 remaining wound.
However, there is also the matter of the las gun. We'll take 2 shots. The veteran hits you once with his las gun and wounds.
2-up armor save is succeeded.
So he is fine, and that is that for there. So we're going to have the Skitarii open up with their radium weapons. Their radiation-loaded weapons, we're going to actually spend a command point to use enriched uranium rounds. They don't care if the station ends up radioactive as long as they get the Death Guard out. And they are going to open up on the Death Guard. They are hitting on 2s because of their Ducturna. And that's a lot of 1s. And the 2s will miss as well. 3s will have to re-roll. Or no, yeah, 2s hit, sorry. 2s and 3s we have to roll to wound. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 wounds plus rolling here, wounding on 5s, yeah, nothing. So we got 12 wounds with radium weapons that are no AP. And then we are firing an arc rifle, 2 shots, 1 hit, strength 6, so wounding on a 3, fails to wound. So we just have the 12 normal wounds.
12, 3+ armor saves. Ooh. Of which 6 fail. So 3 Marines go down.
Alright. 3 of the Marines drop from the rounds. Behind them, the servitors, under the direction of the Tech Priest, are going to open fire. However, you're less than 10, so the blast weapon is, there's a 1, so 4 shots with the plasma cannon. Here come 4 plasma cannon shots, hitting on 4s. 2 2 hits and 1 wound.
That is a 6-up save.
Yep.
Alright, so another Plague Marine falls.
So 4 Plague Marines are dropped due to concentrated fire. And 4. And now we're going to go on to the charge phase. Believe it or not, we're going to declare multiple charges. Actually, we are not going to charge with the, well, PDF. They want to get rid of them? Yeah. The PDF here is actually going to try to charge. Not the PDF, but the Skitarii are going to try to charge to retake that important station. See what happens. Meanwhile, over here, the PDF is for sure going to declare a charge against those Death Shroud Terminators. Mr. Holte, were you wanting to do any type of Overwatch?
I feel we can. Overwatch.
Who's overwatching?
I believe you said the Death Shroud was being charged.
It was.
So we will be overwatching with them.
Okay.
Now their weapons are auto-hit.
So they are going to unleash that stream of corruption pretty much point blank right into the PDF as they come screaming down the hallway to get them. So if you'd be so good as to roll that.
A very lackluster amount of...
Looks like you only hit 6 times with that. Only because you used it all up the last time round, so...
They are strength 3 to your current toughness of 2, since they're in contagion range.
That is correct, I'm in contagion range, so...
Rerolling 1s. So wounding on 3s, rerolling 1s because they're plague weapons.
Okay.
So that is 5 saves that will need to be made.
Okay. 5 saves, here they come. Looks like we only lose only one of the guardsmen is taken out. And the rest are on their way in. Let's roll these charges. Over here, the Skitarii managed to fail to make that charge. So that'll be a morale test still for them. However, over here, we had a successful charge by the PDF troopers. All right, so charging in, we have a grand total of 9 guardsmen, one of which is a sergeant. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Here come their attacks. They're going to be hitting you on 4s. And they are less than motivated once they got close. I'm guessing the stench kind of threw them off. They managed to hit you a whopping 4 times. I believe my toughness is lowered, but not my strength. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right, so we'll be wounding you on 5s. 1 wound. One of them manages to slam a bayonet in.
With a 2+ armor save.
It fails, which was the 3rd wound, so one of those Terminators is dead. Managed to take 1 out.
And the champion, I believe is that one,
So you're leaving the champion in.
remains.
All right, he remains to face off against the guardsmen, who have now all swung. So now the champion begins to swing with his relic blade of entropy.
So,
I believe he had 5 attacks last time.
that is correct. So these hit on 2s.
Okay.
One miss. Now these will be wounding on 2s, rerolling the 1s,
Okay.
due to it being a plague weapon.
2 rerolls. Okay, 4. So 4 of them die. 2, 3, and 4.
And they take an additional mortal wound to the unit since one of those wound rolls was a 6.
Okay, 5. So there are 4 left. They're going to move in. They would need a morale check normally. However, I'm going to spend the last of my command points to essentially make them fearless. They are going to stick it out and keep you from claiming that objective for as long as they can. And that is it for turn 2 for the defenders. Did not score any points. We're about to start Death Guard turn 3. Quick update, almost forgot. He had to take a morale check over there, which he was able to pass. And we're now going to go into Death Guard turn 3. So the Death Guard advanced up the corridor to face the Skitarii. The Death Lord, the Unfallow,
Usharabi the Widower.
the Widower, Usharabi, has moved on up to a pile of corpses where he is, I guess he's going to spend an action to see what he can do, so we might as well resolve that real quick. However, before we do that, the lone Death Shroud Terminator is still tied up in combat, so let's see what happens to Usharabi the Widower. Usharabi the Widower spends his action. He's not going to do any shooting or anything, so he's going to spend his action. So 2d6 out of the dying plague victims pile. Ouch, that's a 10. So Usharabi the Widower managed to resurrect 10 plague zombies, poxwalkers, including, as you can see in the front rank, the former commissar who had passed away on board ship and is now going to be leading the poxwalkers in retaking his former station. So things are not looking good. So in the shooting phase, that gauntlet weapon that spews out all that disgusting sludge that dissolves people is technically a pistol.
It is. The Platesburg Gauntlet is essentially a pistol.
Okay, so the poor 4 guardsmen who are in point-blank range are... Well, only 3 of them are getting hit with this. Lucky for them.
Yep. As per usual, this will be wounding on 3s due to their toughness reduction from the contagion.
Yep.
Rerolling 1s to wound.
So 2 wounds. And 2 more of the poor guardsmen are dead, leaving the sergeant and a lone warrior to try to stab you. And is that it for shooting, or is the other squad going to open fire?
The other squad will be opening up.
Okay.
Fire
Hold
past
on.
them to the larger unit. Because I can charge the Skitarii.
Okay, so they are going to open fire on the servitors.
Correct?
Okay. We'll have you open fire on the servitors.
We'll start with plasma gun rounds.
All right.
These will be hitting on 3s. That is all 6 shots hitting.
Okay. 6 shots, all hit the servitors.
Strength 7 to toughness.
My toughness is 3.
Alright.
They don't pick servitors for their strength and agility. They're generally, for those of you who are not aware of it in 40k lore, a servitor is made of someone useless, who has failed. Criminals are commonly pressed and turned into servitors. And in the Charadon sector, given how Forge-World Metallica acted throughout the conflict, it would not be unusual for them to just grab random civilians that they viewed as useless mouths and convert them into servitors to use them for their own military purposes. So, a little bit of lore history here, and let's go ahead and see what happens with the wounding.
That being said, strength 7 to toughness 3 means 2s.
2s to wound. These are not plague weapons, so we're lucky.
So we have 5 wounds with minus 3 AP.
Okay, well, the servitors only have 1 wound to give up. Again, not selected for their toughness and that, so that leaves the tech priest all alone with the Skitarii. That after firing the plasma at the servitors, the remaining bolter, yeah, just the one bolter, correct? Or no,
two
two.
remaining.
Are, it seems they're going to split fire into the Skitarii.
Yep, since the tech priest is guarded by them at this time.
Okay, and he opens up.
And that is 3 hits.
3 hits. Okay, the Skitarii are toughness 3.
However, they are within contagion range now.
So 2s, which means you'll be wounding on 2s. 4 versus 2 is 2.
Yep. So we have 2.
2 wounds. The Skitarii have a 4-up save, which they make. No problem. And that now brings us into the charge phase. Are you going to charge them?
Yep, we're going to declare a charge upon that Skitarii unit.
Okay, I'm going to spend point, and we are going to attempt to overwatch. Let's see what happens. The arc rifle, yeah, it doesn't do a thing. The arc pistol also doesn't do a thing. And then the remaining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 guys with 3 shots is 1624. Hold on one. 6, more. There we are. All right. They'll be hitting on 6s. However, being as they're using radioactive weaponry, any 6s to hit, which they score 2 of them, also automatically wound. So we have 2 hits and 2 wounds.
Alright.
No AP, however.
Both of those are saved with the 3-up saves.
All right. And do you make your charge?
9, I believe, gets them in.
All right. So we have a 9-inch charge. And is this the combat you want to resolve first, or would you prefer fighting with the Terminator?
I think we can go with this one first.
All right.
So we're going to spend the command point, bringing us down to 0 for this turn, to once again apply trench fighters.
All right.
So every man in the unit gets an extra attack.
However, there is a slight catch. Now, we're seeped in radiation, so you have to subtract 1 from your strength and toughness. Since you're right in with them with the radiation. So you're now strength 3.
Correct.
Of course, I am now toughness 2 because of your sickness contagion, and it's quite the little fog bank right there of sickness, radiation. It's not healthy for any unmodified human to be anywhere near there.
Alright. So we have 4 normal Plague Marines remaining, as well as the champion, who is also armed with a Plague Knife.
Okay.
That leaves us with a grand total of 16 attacks, hitting on 3s.
Okay.
So that is 13 hits. With our strength reduced to 3, we will be wounding on 3s due to your toughness being reduced to
2. So it almost evens out, but let's see what happens. And you'll be re-rolling 1s, correct?
Correct. Plague weapons.
Okay.
Not that we have any to reroll this time around.
Holy cow.
In fact, we have a grand total of 12 saves that will need to be made, with no modifiers to AP.
Well, luckily for me, we have a 4-up invuln, or 4-up save, not invuln, 4-up save. 12 of them. We fail 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of the Skitarii are, unfortunately, killed. However, we now get to swing back. But there is one slight problem. Because of the imperative I took last time, their weapon skill decreased, so they'll be hitting you on 5s. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 normal, and then the alpha. So it's 5, And then the Alpha with 2 attacks. And hitting on 5s. Alright, we have 3 normal hits and 1 from the Alpha. The 3 normal hits will be wounding you on your toughness 3.
5 reduced to a 4.
4. And I am still strength 3. So 5s. 5s to wound. 2 wounds. And then, before I forget, let's get to the Alpha, who has a taser goad. He hit with a 6, so he gets 2 additional hits. So he counts as 3 hits using that taser. Nothing like a taser weapon. And his strength is +2, so he'll be wounding you on 3s. And -1, and does 1 damage. So 1 wound at -1.
Alright, and was there any AP on the other 2?
No.
So 2 normal saves, 1 of which gets through.
Okay, 1 wound.
And the -1 save from the Alpha also gets through. So another Plague Marine drops.
Another one of the Plague Marines. I take it you want one of the Bolter ones done?
Yes.
Alright, one of the Bolter ones is done. The other one moves up. I need to make a morale check real quick. I believe you do as well. I'm fine. You only lost 1 guy this turn, so it's...
Good.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, so... And then let's go over to the last fight. Hold on 1 second. As you can see, the brave sergeant is pointing at the Death Shroud Terminator, yelling at the private, "Stab him! Stab him! Stab him! I'm going to stand here and point. Stab him! Stab him!" Unfortunately for us, the Death Shroud Terminator is going to swing first.
He'll take that grand advice with his Reaper of Glorious Entropy. 5 attacks will hit on a 2+. 4 will hit. Now, these will be wounding on 2s as per usual, and
Okay.
re-rolling 1s. Any 6s cause mortal wounds.
Well, that's 4 wounds and negatives, and that sees the poor lieutenant cut down, or the poor sergeant cut down right away. As the lone private comes running in, he is hit with the backhand and cut in half. And that does it for them, so you will then be consolidating
3 inches.
heading up that corridor. And it now goes to the PDF and Mechanicus. So in the movement, the Tech Priest manages to move himself around to position himself to charge into the rear of the Death Guard. And the rest are staying put. And we're going to go start with orders and shooting. Well, the command squad, the captain is ordering his veteran plasma gunners to bring it down. They are just going to unleash into the lone Death Shroud Terminator in a desperate attempt to cut him down before he can reach them and the reactor they guard. And we have 5 hits with plasma. And we're re-rolling to wound. So 3 wounds. 5 wounds. Unfortunately, Death Shroud have a 4-up invuln save, so I need you to fail a few of them.
We failed exactly 1.
Only 1 wound gets through on the Death Shroud, however. There is a las pistol and a las gun opening up. And 2 of them hit, and none of them wound. So, very disappointing for the command squad. And they know they're in trouble. And we're going to go right then into the assault phase. The Tech Priest is going to charge in. With a 9, he is in. He comes in right behind them, wielding his weapons. And we're going to start this fight first, with the Tech Priest going first. And hold on apologies. The Engine Seer, sorry. Tech Priest Engine Seer. He has 2 basic attacks. And he's getting another one with his servo axe. That'll be this dice. Or servo arm, sorry. So he's swinging with the omniscient axe and the servo arm. Well, he misses with both axe swings. However, the servo arm hits. He is strength 8.
Toughness 4 is 2s,
Yep.
since we are reduced.
And wounds -2, and it does 3 wounds normally. However, you reduce it down to 2 wounds. So
Alright.
1.
1. 5 up armor save right now.
Yep.
Made it.
Made a 6 up armor save. Okay. Well, then we're going to go to the Skitarii. So we got 5 regular. And then the Alpha with the taser goad. We have... Oh, they are actually different Doctrina, so they're hitting on 3s. However, their shooting's not that good now. So those hit. And 1 wound. And then the Alpha.
That 1 wound was
Hits
saved.
1, so with a 6, so scores 2 additional. 2 wounds at -1.
Alright, the normal save was made, so the Alpha's saves will be 4 ups.
Yep.
And we made 1, so 1 wound carries over onto the Plague Marines.
Okay, one of the Plague Marines has a wound. However, they get to strike back now.
Alright. Since we are no longer trench fighting, we're down to 2 attacks each other than the champion.
Okay.
So that is a grand total of 9 attacks. Hitting on 3s,
Okay. And
6 hits.
this is going against the Skitarii or the Engine Seer.
We will send it against the Skitarii.
Okay.
So our strength is reduced down to 3, so we are wounding on 3s right now. Rerolling 1s due to plague weapons.
Okay.
And we have
5 wounds. So, 5 wounds. Making their saves. Oh! Ouch! Failed all 5. Which means the only one left is the Alpha with his taser goad. It's the only one left to face him. I lost 5 guys. I'm going to need to make a morale check. That's a fail, so it's just a little too much. The human part of his brain goes, we're in trouble. I am getting out of here. Someone needs to warn HQ and higher that things have gone wrong. So there's that. So now it is just the Death Guard versus the Engine Seer. And we are now about to start turn 4. Guard advanced. The Dead advanced. The Dread Lord. The Widowmaker moved up. The rest of the Death Guard crowded around the poor Engine Seer. And on the other end of the battlefield, up on those fuel and power sources, a lone Death Shroud Terminator has marched up to his position, and we're about ready to begin the shooting phase. So apparently, the first thing he's going to do is he's going to point that gauntlet nozzle up at that command squad and open up.
So the twin gauntlets shoot out a grand total of 8 shots this time around.
8
Finally
shots.
getting reloaded.
Okay.
And they auto hit, of course.
Yep. So 8 hits.
Strength 3, you're within contagion range, so you're reduced
To toughness 2.
So wounding on 3s. And rerolling the 1s being a plague weapon. So that is a grand total of 5 saves that will need to be made.
5 saves needed for the command squad. We made 2, so 3 of the command squad die. We'll take him. And 3. So it's just the captain and 2 veteran bodyguards.
Such a disgrace. The banner has fallen.
Yep, the banner fell. All right. Were you declaring a charge?
Indeed. We will declare a charge upon that unit.
Okay. Let's see if you can make it. It's 3 inches.
5 vertical counts.
So, yep. Let's see if you make your charge. A 10 will definitely do it. So we'll come back and you'll see the last, what I'm guessing will probably be the last stand of the poor captain. All right. So he is up on there. He is engaged with the captain and the 2 remaining members of the command squad. So you're going to have to allocate your attacks. You're swinging first.
All right. We are going to allocate 3 attacks to the squad and 2 to the commander.
Okay, the company commander's taking 2 attacks and the squad's taking 3. Let's do the 3 on the squad first.
Yep, they'll be hitting on 2s. 2 hits. Strength 8 to toughness 2 would be 2s.
Yep.
And that is 2 at AP minus 3, damage 3.
All right, well, there they go, which just leaves the very brave company commander facing off against a creature of nightmare, a Death Shroud Terminator, which has already cut through 2 squads.
Pretty much on
Actually 3 now with the company command squad.
So his 2 attacks, once again, hitting on 2s.
2 hits.
Once again, wounding on 2s, rerolling 1 for plague weapons.
Okay.
So, 2 invuln saves will need to be made.
Well, he does have a refractor field, so that's 2 5-up saves. Let's see what happens. I make 1.
So it is a damage 3 weapon.
I am stuck with 1 wound left. He's badly wounded. However, he's still alive and still capable of fighting. He will actually swing back at you. He'll swing 3 times.
All right.
Hitting on a 3-up.
So 3 hits.
All right. And he'll wound you on a, 5.
He actually gets 1 in.
All right. And he does not have any kind of special weapon. He is just, yeah.
So we have a standard 2+ armor save, which is succeeded.
All right. And we're left with this duel on top of thermic plasma regulators. And then we're going to have to go over to the fight between the lone tech priest and the Death Guard. So it is the Engine Seer is now facing off with the Death Guard. And the Death Guard get to swing first.
They'll spend their command point.
Okay.
In order to, once again, activate trench fighters.
Okay.
Giving us a grand total of 13 attacks.
Ouch.
I believe your radium does not carry over to the engine.
I am not. The radiation was coming from the Skitari, so yeah, that is gone.
All right, so hitting on 3s. Leaving us with 8 hits. And these will be strength 4 to toughness.
Toughness is 4, normally. However, because of your contagion, I am now toughness 3.
So wounding on 3s and rerolling the 1s due to plague weapons.
Okay.
So that is a grand total of 7 armor saves that will need to be made.
Alright, he has a 3-up armor save. He has 4 wounds. So there's a chance he might survive this. 1, 2, 3, 4 fails. So that does it for him. With a flurry of plague knives, the engine seer goes down. So, at the top of 4, or bottom of 4, the only thing left is the duel between the company commander and the Death Shroud Terminator. Alright, so the company commander very valiantly makes his 3 attacks. Swinging his swagger stick in an effort to beat the Death Lord Terminator to death. Swings, and he hits all 3 times because, hey, he's pretty good with that stick. He even manages to break the stick off in 2, take the jagged parts, and stab him through the neck seals for 2 wounds.
Alas and forsooth, he didn't hit anything other than a pustule.
And that led for the Death Shroud Terminator to swing back.
5 swings from the Reaper of Glorious Entropy. All of them hit. For initial hits, rerolling the 1 for 5 hits in total.
Okay, well, let's see if his refractor field will save him. It saves him from 3 of them.
Leaving 6 damage to go through.
And with a flick of the wrist, the company commander is killed, and the first part of orbital defense platform station number 27, built into an asteroid circling Thrios, has fallen. So as a part of this crusade, he gained some zombies. They will not actually enter his crusade roster, but for narrative purposes, there are now zombies roaming through the orbital defense platform. They gain no experience. They can't really gain experience anyway, at least not in Crusade, and that is as it should be. Next up in Crusade, we have
Usharabi the Winnower.
Usharabi the Winnower, who
essentially only gotten 1 experience for showing up this game, since he was slightly out of position and a Skitarii ran from him.
Okay, so yeah, he gains 1 experience point, not enough to gain any crusade points or the like. And let's go. So next up, we have the Death Guard squad.
The Oarsmen, a Plague Marine squad.
They gain 1 experience point for having participated in the battle.
They also managed to kill 3 units, putting them up another experience points for a total of 2.
So they have 2 experience points, and they need 5 before they are considered blooded and can gain a battle trait, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so there are 2. They're well on their way. And last, we have the Death Shroud Terminator squad.
The Gallowsmen.
The Gallowsmen. Now, they gain 1 experience point for being in the battle. They killed 4 units, which for every 3 kills gives them 1 experience point, correct?
Correct.
And then they were also the MVP unit.
That is correct.
So they get 3 more experience, so they're at 5 experience.
However, they gained another 3 from the mission selection as being the unit that had most kills in the mission.
So they actually have gained 8 experience points, which you only need 5 to be blooded. So they are now up to 1, gain an additional crusade point and can take a battle trait, a battle honor, equipment upgrade, or character upgrade, and that. Were you going to do that now, or were you going to do it before the next game that they appear in?
They'll be getting that added before the next game.
Okay. And you can choose that from either the main rulebook or the Death Guard Codex and go from there as far as what kind of upgrades. You can also take upgrades from any of the mission packs, especially the Charadon mission packs and the like for this campaign. And again, thank you very much, Mr. Holte, for an excellent game. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. And I hope everybody here who is watching this battle report enjoyed it. If you did, please hit subscribe and hit like. Thank you very much. You guys have yourselves a great day.